Yes, geezers, especially today, looking at the new Battle Pass card for the month of April. It's just been leaked. It's Hitmonkey. This card is incredible. I think it's the perfect Battle Pass card. Not too strong, hopefully, but certainly very powerful and can be played in a wide variety of decks. Also, Cosmo and Goose, card backs, avatars, and variants, all of which are looking fantastic. We're going to look at a bunch of decks as well as a little bit of lore on Hitmonkey. Please like the video if you enjoy it and subscribe for more. Hitmonkey is 2 energy, 0 stats, and it has an on-reveal ability of gaining 2 power for every other card you played this turn. In Marvel Snap, you want to be getting double the energy cost in terms of points for it to be considered a competitive card with a little bit of extra upside. So with Hitmonkey, you want to be getting at least 4 points from him, ideally 5 or 6. And it's going to be quite easy to achieve 6 points with Hitmonkey in the right decks because you need to play 3 cards as well as Hitmonkey on, for example, turn 6 for it to be playing for 6 points. And I think you can go well above that when you consider cards such as Sarah, which are going to be reducing the cost of Hitmonkey as well as other cards, particularly Mysterio as well. Mysterio is playing 3 cards at once. So Mysterio plus Hitmonkey on turn 4 would already be 6 points for 2, which is very competitive indeed. So this is definitely a very strong card, but one that you are going to have to build around. Of course, Wong has a little bit of synergy here as well, because you're going to be doubling the on-reveal effect. Odin, not so much, because of course you're just playing Odin as a card on its own. But Angela, Bishop, these Zug type cards, as well as Sarah, and particularly Mysterio, are going to be popping off with Hitmonkey. This is the variant you get for hitting rank 50 or level 50, I should say, on the Battle Pass. Here is another variant which is currently in the game files. And then we have a closer look at the Goose and the Cosmo variants. I particularly love the Cosmo variant here. Absolutely banging. Okay, here's the first deck. This is a Sarah control list with Dark Hawk. You don't have to go down the Dark Hawk route. I've built another deck looking very similar, which doesn't have Dark Hawk if you don't have access to this. But the general idea of these lists are to play Sarah on turn 5 and then a whole bunch of control cards such as Killmonger, Shang-Chi, perhaps Enchantress as well, if she is good in the current meta, to go in on the final turn losing and then just surprise your opponent with all the control tools possible. Cards like Lizard are really good because they're just going to cost 1. So a bunch of 2-cost cards are going to work really well with Hitmonkey. So Bishop down on the board already, and then you could play, for example, Angela, Mysterio, Lizard, Sentinel, Killmonger, Hitmonkey, something like that, because everything is going to be so damn cheap and your Hitmonkey is going to be really popping off. And that is great because it fits the theme of this card, the lore. He is an assassin monkey, so playing him in a control deck is really nice indeed. And here is the Dark Hawk version, very similar looking. The key difference, of course, being that you have this Zabu, which is going to reduce the cost of your Dark Hawk, your Shang-Chi, Enchantress as well, if you do want to play her, if she's good in the current meta. And Rockside and Dark Hawk just fit in quite nicely as cards you might want to be playing on turn 3 or 4, and then you can just slam the Sarah on turn 5 and then just play all the cards you need to buff up your Hitmonkey on turn number 6. Sentinel is pretty good in these decks as well because it's just a card you can play early on, meaning that you don't have an empty hand when it comes to turn 6. Of course, you want to be playing as many cards as you possibly can on turn 6, and Sentinel is just there for a card which you can play nice and early and gives you a nice curve. Nova also a good card in these ones because of the synergy it has with Killmonger. The Hood as well, you can kill the Hood and then play the Demon on turn number 6. I think this is the deck I'm most excited for with Hitmonkey. It fits the theme, but there's another couple of decks, particularly this next one, which I'm really excited for, and this is Hitmonkey, Mr. Negative. Hitmonkey is fitting very well in this one because of its 0 stats, meaning that it's going to go to 2 stats and 0 cost after Mr. Negative. So that's 0 cost, 2 stats, and it also has synergy with Bast. And it has big synergy with Wong, which fits into this deck as well. Of course, Zabu now is increasing the chance of you getting Mr. Negative down on turn 3. It's also reducing the cost of your Wong. And Wong has so much synergy in here with cards like Ironheart, Wolfsbane, White Tiger, and now Hitmonkey as well. On turn 6 or turn 7, because of magic, of course, that gives you that little bit of extra energy to play some more cards of Hitmonkey. You're just going to be able to play a bunch of cards down all in the same turn because of the reduced cost of Mr. Negative. And with that Wong doubling your Hitmonkey, I could easily see you playing 5 cards plus Hitmonkey on turn number 7, which therefore means that your Hitmonkey would start at 2 points because of the Mr. Negative potentially. And then it's going to be buffing itself by 10, Wong, therefore, doubling it, you could get 22 points on your Hitmonkey potentially with this deck, which is pretty impressive. Up next, we have a Thanos deck. I'm not quite sure it makes the cut in Thanos. Of course, there's a bunch of different ways you can play Thanos. We saw Ordinary Harry win the New York tournament playing cards like Spectrum and Valkyrie. You could definitely keep those. I just figured with Hitmonkey, you're more likely to be wanting to play a bunch of cards in the final turn. But all you really need is to be playing 3 cards at once for Hitmonkey to be worth it. And with Quinjet making your Infinity Stones cost nothing, it should be pretty easy for your Hitmonkey to play for decent value. The other thing you could do with Hitmonkey in this one is you could play it into your Lockjaw location. You could play a couple of stones and then your Hitmonkey into Lockjaw, shuffling it into your deck. Its on-reveal ability will go through, so then if you draw it again or find it again off Lockjaw, its on-reveal ability, let's say, it would already be at 4 points if you played 2 stones in Hitmonkey, and therefore you would be able to increase that even further and play for some really good value. So could have a home in Lockjaw, but I think most importantly, Mr. Negative, it is a fantastic fit, and this Sarah Control archetype, which has been very popular recently, it's also a banging fit for either the Darkhawk version or the non-Darkhawk version. So overall, my thoughts on the power level with this card is very high. I think it's a great card. It is a build-around card. You're not going to be able to play it in just any deck. I don't think it's going to be quite as big of a meta definer as cards like Silver Surfer and cards like Zabu. I do, however, think it is going to be stronger than Modok. That's for sure. Okay, here's the sound these animals make. And let's look at a little bit of lore. Hitmonkey, or Earth 616. His name is Hitmonkey. He's a hitman who's a monkey. You don't believe me? Look around you, dude. He's real. That's a quote from Deadpool. And here's the history of the card. The critter that would become Hitmonkey originally lived in the mountainous wilderness of Japan as part of a clan of other Makoaks. Mate, I literally was Googling how to pronounce this and I still ain't got it. Makoaks? Something like that. Members of his clan took in a fugitive assassin and nursed him back to health with herbal remedies and hot springs. Okay, this is just like a normal assassin, right? Like a human assassin, I do believe. A young monkey disagreed with this, fearing that someone would eventually come looking for the hitman. Once the nameless assassin regained his health, he began to hone his skills using snowmen as practice dummies, and the young monkey studied him. The assassin's health deteriorated during the continued winter, and the monkey tribe did all they could to help him. Having accepted him as one of their own, the young monkey resorted to physical violence against other members of his clan over the continued presence of the assassin, and was cast away because of this. Days into his exile, the young monkey spotted a group of soldiers in the woods who were looking for the assassin. He rushed to the clan to warn them, but did not make it in time, and witnessed as the assassin and the other monkeys were slain. Seeking vengeance, the young monkey picked up the assassin's pistol and killed the soldiers, becoming Hitmonkey. Okay, that's pretty awesome. So really nice lore behind this guy. I'd never heard of him before. Let me know in the comments which deck you're most excited for, which variant you're the biggest fan of, and overall what you think of this Battle Pass card. Do you think that this is going to be an OP card? Do you think it's going to be as strong as Silver Surfer and Zabu? Or do you think it's a nice balance where it's a powerful card, but I mean, it's counterable with cards like Cosmo as well, and it's only a 2 energy card, so even if it's super powerful, hopefully it's not, you know, completely defining the meta, even if it does prove to be a top meta card. Thanks so much for watching the video. If you watched this far, the keyword is Hitman. You can write Hitman in the comments below so I know you watched the whole thing. I appreciate you. See you soon.